And welcome to Ocean's Pit, a little show about big things. Hope you guys are having a great day today, and we have a great show lined up for you guys. First of all, check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com, and give us a call at 847-769-8609 to book a show. Every show is dedicated to the first responders, but mostly it's dedicated to people like you who take the time and watch the show. Whether you're watching it live on the Tony Ocean Show Facebook page, you're watching on the Mo Carraro Facebook page, you're watching on LinkedIn, you're watching it on YouTube, or you're watching it on Twitter, X, whatever it is, as long as you're watching it, we really do appreciate it. And we got a great show for you. Chicago singer Felix Greco will be in the house. Let's have some fun. It's showtime here on Wednesday, July 24th. Thank you, Dina Manzella from Seventh Heaven, for that great intro. Guys, it's a wonderful day. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. It's not too muggy. It's perfect. It's Wednesday, July 24th, and we got a great week ahead of you guys. A lot of stuff. I want to thank Carol Brandolino yesterday for Twisted Tuesday. And tomorrow we'll have my lovely wife, Laura Ocean, on. And tomorrow we'll announce our special surprise guest for this Friday coming up. And we got a lot of stuff going on. So let's get right to our sponsors. Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local, supporting local establishments. Norridge, Des Plaines, Evergreen Park, Warrenville, Mesa, Arizona. 50% off lawn and garden decor. 40% off all outdoor decorative chimes. Patio sets on sale. Lowest price in the seasons. Also, folks, the Norridge and the Des Plaines store and Ace has fully licensed handymen. So very, very cool what our friends from Ace Hardware. Tune up that lawnmower for just $105 plus parts and take advantage of the auto key programming. They program car cut keys up to 50% less than the dealership. Visit their helpful hub to speak to a certified team member. That is Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. Buy a local, shop a local, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. That's right. Felix Greco coming up in a few minutes, folks. Chicago crooner. Hey, how about your traveling plans out there? And you want to get some real estate done at the same time? Well, there's a one-stop shop with my good friend Mary Grievous, folks. It's that simple, Mary Grievous, and she's got all you need. The perfect real estate professional, whether you're putting your home on the market or looking for your dream home, give her a call today. She's available to assist buyers, sellers, for sale by owners, expired listings. That's right, Berkshire Hathaway Real Estate. M. Grievous at starkre.com, or give Mary a call at 630 12 o'clock. They just don't get it. Anyway, yes, 630-688-1725. And then, of course, if you're talking about Mary with the real estate, then you got to talk about Mary also about the Chicago Music Cruise 2025. Now, you guys missed that one. You can look at the bottom of the screen there. If you missed that one in January that we did, it was so successful. We're doing another one, and it's going to be even bigger than the last one, folks. First of all, for all you new listeners today, March 22nd to March 30th, 2025, the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, Oasis of the Seas, Fort Lauderdale, Carousel, Aruba, and Coco Key, Bahamas. You can't answer anything better than that. Spring break, 8 days. The last one was 7 days. This is 8 days. 2025 and listen to the rock bands. Listen to what's going to be performing with us on this great ship. Of course, we're going to have Mojo's Jukebox, my new rock band, which is playing Dirty Nellies this Saturday in Palatine. Also, let's not forget Tony Ocean and the Main Event Band, including even Ron Starr will be joining us on that ship. How about the number one country band in the city of Chicago, Hillbilly Rock Stars, will be knocking it out. How about from former CGI DJ Frankie Hollywood Rodriguez? How about the Jersey Girls? All three of them will be on the cruise ship. And Seventh Heaven, 8 days, Chicago Music Cruise 2025, March 22nd to March 30th. That's 630-688-1725. Mention Tony Ocean, call Mary, or go to chicagomusiccruise.com and tell them Tony Ocean sent you. That's what it's about. So a lot of good things that are happening in the new year, and cruising is fun. If you never got a chance to do it, it's fun to do it with your friends, and when you got some great music and great stops. Aruba alone is worth the price of this package. Get yourself on that ship, folks. All right. A couple things before we bring Felix on. Tomorrow, Thursday, Positano's in Oak Brook with Lisa P. and Jerry Jams. That's a 7 o'clock hit. Friday, Chicago Prime Steakhouse with the Professor Daryl Armstead. That's an 8 o'clock hit. And, of course, Saturday, Dirty Nellies with Mojo's Jukebox. And opening for us will be Small Town, a tribute to John Cougar Mellencamp. Palatine, it's a great place over there. Gotta love it, man. And a beautiful stage, giant stage, lights, sound. It's going to be great. Mojo's Jukebox going to have a lot of fun. Saturday night, everything starts at 7 o'clock. And Sunday, we're leaving. I'm finally got a Sunday off, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going camping. We're going to Lake Delton. We're going to the Dells. We're going to go camping for 4 or 5 days, and we'll be back. And on the 31st, we'll be at usually we do the last Wednesday of every month. We're usually at Rosario's in Roselle. But this one, this 31st of July coming up, folks, we're going to be at Kelsey's Roadhouse. And only reason why we're going to be there for is for the Almost Home Foundation for Dogs. Now, you know I volunteer for every Tuesday to walk the dogs and do what I can for Almost Home Foundation for Dogs. We're doing a benefit concert, me and Double T, Tony Toto, 50-50. There'll be raffles. You can bring your dogs, folks. Kelsey's Roadhouse in Barrington. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about that. So also August 1st, we'll be at Zaza's in Lake Barrington. Couple big gigs coming up. Some of my favorite gigs back at Norton's in Highland Park on August 3rd. August 4th, we'll be in Davenport, Iowa with Ocean's Rat Pack. Big summer concert out there. That's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, Ron Onesti's Taylor Street Italian Fest. We've been doing it ever since it started with Ron 25 years ago. And we haven't missed a year. And it's nice to be back. We're going to be there Friday night, August 9th. And, of course, the fest is from the 8th to the 11th. We'll be there on the Friday night on the main stage. 8:45, we hit the stage with the Main Event Band, Danny Ramundi, Tony Toto, Daryl Amundstad, Mikey D, Regina Karma. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a lot of fun for that Friday, folks. I'm excited about that. Elmwood Park Fest with Ocean's Rat Pack on the 11th. And let's not forget Lake Geneva, as always, returning to Mars Resort on the 24th of August. Biggest party of the year. It's going to be there, and I'm excited to be part of that, folks. Also, Taste of Melrose coming up on the 30th of August. We got some other stuff, too. Moretti's in Edison Park on the 8th outside summer concert. And let's not forget September 1st, September Fest in Schaumburg. Big festival up there. It's one of the biggest, one of my favorites, actually. So it's a lot of fun. All right. So Felix will be coming on in just a couple minutes, folks. How about another sponsor? Let's go to Gorelli Pavement Service. If you need stuff done in your businesses or homes, Gorelli Pavement Service, family-owned, operated day service includes Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, specializing in parking lots. They do both asphalt and concrete work. They do repairs and replacement, seal coating, crack filling, and lot painting. It's a 5-star rating, folks. Call and speak to a knowledgeable representative at 815-271-5835 or go to GorelliPavementServices.com. Keeping it in their way, keeping it buy local and shop local. How about Jack Vena Landscaping at its finest? They offer monthly maintenance programs, bush trimming, spring and fall cleanup, bed mulching, fertilizing, weed control. They offer plant design service and installation. They've been servicing the North Shore for over 44 years. Call Tommy at 847-432-5266 and tell him Tony O sent ya. Oh, yeah. A lot of fun. And boy, is it getting crazy in this world. I knew the world was always screwed up, especially since 2020, so-called COVID-19, the flu. It is amazing, the crazy stuff that's going on. And wow, you put on the news and there's just one station you watch tells you one thing and another station tells you completely the different thing. Holy cow, it's nuts. Rogia, Robert Provenzano is in the house. Kathy Eppolito, how you doing? Lake Geneva, Ohio. Angelo is in the house. Give it up for my good buddy from Iowa, Joanne. We had a lot of great show, guys, lined up for you. And my good friend Felix coming up in about 2 to 3 minutes. Boy, yesterday we covered, the day before, my friend David Gage was my sound man for many, many years, through all the years of Jilly's Downtown on Rush Street. And on his Facebook page, his sister posted that he had passed away in his sleep. So the whole day, people were calling all our friends, we're sending pictures, we're posting stuff on social media about our good friend Dave. About 6 o'clock at night, all of a sudden, Dave is on his Facebook page and says, I was hacked. I am alive. Do you imagine that shit to happen on social media when you get hacked, saying that his sister said that he died in his sleep? But Dave Gage is alive, folks. He is alive. Danny Mazzi's watching. How you doing, Danny? Armando Supermarkets, buy local, shop local, 925 Liberty Street in Elgin, Illinois. And Mike and Gigi from Crash Champions Collision Auto Repair. For all your collision auto repair needs, go to crashchampions.com. So isn't that crazy? Frankie said us watching. How you doing, Frankie? Yeah, so I reached out. We all reached out to Dave. You know, I've known Dave for a long time. Great guy. And when now they get into your accounts, they do shit like that. My God. I mean, I've seen people hack into people's accounts and maybe just, put a couple things in there to screw it up. But when you actually say that he died in his sleep, that is something. He was hacked by the devil. I mean, I don't know who's hacking him and who would do such a low ball thing to someone like that. But everything worked out good because Dave Gage is still alive. So God bless for that. Very cool. Also, great news. U.S. Security, Kimberly Cheetel has resigned, stepped down for not doing her job protecting former president of the United States, Donald Trump, and soon to be the new president of the United States. She needed to step down. I mean, I don't know. I think they need to revamp that whole security. They need to revamp everything. That should have never happened, folks. And believe me, if it was the other way, on the other side of the regime, all hell would have broke loose. All hell would have broke loose. Hey, what's today? What do we got? Oh, it's almost that time. President Joe Biden just announced today, folks, that he does not have COVID anymore. He tested negative. So our president of the United States, Joe Biden, no, he's not president anymore. That's right. Had COVID and now he doesn't have COVID. See, here's the question is, what happened to the flu? The flu gone now? There's no such. Does that mean we don't have to get flu shots? I've never got a flu shot in my life. But does that mean we don't need to get flu shots now? Because we don't hear the flu. Now you have COVID. That's it. COVID or you're not, or you don't have COVID. It's not COVID. Oh, no, it's the flu. No, maybe it's COVID. Oh, no, it's not the flu. Flu, COVID. What is it? Biggest scam ever. All right. And another thing, haters. You know how much we hate haters? You know what? And I'm bringing them on. You're going to get haters in life. You try to do the best you can, but I always believe in speaking your mind, and I think it's a good thing. Thank you. There go. Woo-woo. Yeah, well, right, Tony D. Right now, he doesn't have COVID. Wonderful. Yeah, who's running the country? Same one. Obama's running the country like he's been doing for the last 4 years. Kathy, how you doing? Dakota, what's up, brother? Happy birthday to your father up in Las Vegas, buddy, with you, and I hope you're doing well. Okay, so yeah, the haters. We're gonna get haters, folks. We're gonna get people. It is. I've been going through that forever, and since I got on this show, you're going to get your haters, and that's okay. We need haters. We need the people that support you. We also need the people that don't support you, because it's a melting pot of love. All right, let's get into my good friend, Chicago crooner Felix Greco. Let's get him on right now. Wait, patiently. There he is. Felix, what's up, brother?
Good afternoon, Tony. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's an honor.
Well, thank you, brother, and I'm glad you're on. First of all, are you in town? Are you visiting? What are you doing? Where are you at right now?
I am in town. For this month, I'm pretty much done. Next month, I have a few shows lined up already, and a few more coming up. Friday, August 2nd, at Salerno's in McHenry.
Okay.
And the 24th of August in Sorrento Sports Bar by Alba in Indian Head Park. I just played there this past weekend.
Okay.
And the owner told me that night that was the biggest crowd she had in a long, long time. And very I know cool. 40 to 45 people came in. They were all people I grew up with. So
well, that's very cool. It's always nice
to be able to put that out there.
The best thing about that when you're first starting out and you start doing the shows, which is great because you get family and friends and people going, hey, where you been? You haven't been around. I know a couple of people like that. So it's nice that you keep doing what you're doing, Felix. Let's get to the basics. Where were you born, my friend?
I was actually born in Melrose Park, Gottlieb Hospital. And but I was raised in Berwyn. I've lived my whole life. I lived my whole life in Berwyn until I got married the first time, and I moved to Cicero, and then eventually to Bolingbrook.
So for people that don't know, what's the difference in your opinion growing up in Melrose or growing up in Berwyn? Very similar in some ways. But what do you think?
Honestly, I don't think there's much of a difference. When I was growing up in Berwyn, we had a lot of Italian restaurants. There were a lot of Italians in the community. As you know, it's a very diverse community now, more so than ever. Melrose Park, though, to me has always been Italian. Berwyn was, growing up for me, it was Polish, Bohemian, the Eastern ethnic groups. And the Italians were coming in the mid to late 60s, leaving Taylor Street, and in some cases, the Grand Avenue corridor. It's just like the natural progression, just like the Czechs and the Bohemians left the Pilsen area and moved west to Berwyn, and then they continue to move west. And but I went to St. Joseph High School in Westchester. I had some very good friends who lived in Melrose Park who went there as well. I'm surprised I didn't go to Holy Cross.
Okay, there you go.
But
it's either Holy Cross, right?
Both schools are gone now.
Yeah, both schools are gone, and so is Mother Guerin. That's gone.
Yeah.
When I came to Elmwood Park, we went to Elmwood Park High, and I graduated there in 81. Mm-hmm. So you have a big family, Felix?
Well, my parents are still living. God bless and thank God for that. My father's going to be 87 this year, and my mom just turned 84. They have their health problems, but all in all, they're doing well. And I talk to them every day. I see them a couple of times a week. My father lives about 15, 20 minutes from me. My mom's in the city still. After my parents were divorced, my mom married a Chicago police officer, and she still lives in that house to this day up near Holy Cross, Mother Guerin area. Okay. And my dad's in Lombard now. His wife passed away 5 years ago. My mom's in 2009. So it's been tough for them. But you know what? They're survivors. That's why I'm a survivor. I have a brother and a sister, both younger than me. My brother still works for Local 150, the operators. And my sister, she's Charisse. My brother's name is Peter. And Charisse, my sister's gone through quite a bit. She lost her husband a few years ago. He was only 53 years old. And that was tough on her family because, he's the guy who was always there for you. You could ask him anything, he'd be there. He would drop everything he was doing just to be there. and he's
Sorry for your loss there, Felix,
Thank
on
you.
that. You know what? And,
Yeah.
and when you talk to a lot of families out there, there's always one in the family that's the go-to. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
at least you have the memories with them. Felix Greco, Chicago Crooner, is watching, is on the show right now, folks. Who influenced you in music when you were growing up? Was it something you seen on television? Was it a grandfather? Was it an uncle? Was it a neighbor? Who was it that said, "Boy, I'd like to maybe try to do this"?
Yeah, we always had music in our household. My father listened to everything, and my mom, they listened to everything from Motown to jazz. My dad was a huge fan of Wes Montgomery, the Oscar Peterson Trio, Nat King Cole. And of course, we always listened to Tony Bennett and Frank Sinatra and the Bobby Darrens, but huge. My grandparents, though, when we would go by their house, and it's funny, it's a shame because I think there's very few families that do this anymore, and I think it's because the grandparents are gone. They've passed on. In fact, today would be my grandmother's 111th birthday, and she
God bless.
she
Happy
cooked.
birthday.
They were from the Taylor Street area. And eventually they moved, and we would go there on Sundays for dinner. My dad, his sisters, their spouses, there were, and my grandmother's sisters. There were probably 40 or 50 people in their house in the basement, because we had the kitchen in the basement as well as upstairs. And
right.
She was cooking from like 5 o'clock in the morning. She was making, we called it gravy, other people call it sauce. I just stay neutral and say, whoever I'm with, it's what I call it. And but they always hit on like Dean Martin. But one of their favorite singer of all time was a great Neapolitan singer, and I think he passed away a few years ago. And he played in Chicago a few times. And Jimmy Rosselli. Yeah. And he was just to this day I still listen to his music, and I remember just buying albums. I mean, I was buying albums from back then when you could buy albums. You remember that? I'm sure,
absolutely.
And he was just so influential. So, I mean, like, I can sing in Italian. I don't always know what I'm singing, but I can guess. My father's helped translate it for me. And
your mom and dad spoke Italian. Do you speak Italian at all?
You know what? I started taking classes again last year at COD, and then I started doing something online. And I can understand. It's very similar to Spanish, which I had to take in high school. And some Latin that I took Latin in high school as well, and it's easy to pick it up. So I can understand, but they have to speak kind of slow. Otherwise, it's just too much for me. You have to do that.
Well, it's nice that you got your mom and dad still alive, and they still speak the language. I speak Italian to my mother every day. Thank God my mom is still alive. But you had the influence of all that music in your home. The question I always ask. So, but with all the music that you had playing in your home, besides that's where you were influenced by the music that you were playing, or did you actually have a grandfather or somebody saying, "Boy, maybe you can do that," or maybe he sang or she sang?
I actually my grandfather's sister. I asked my dad. I go, "Why? What is this? How is this?" And he said, "You know what? His aunt, so my grandfather's sister, she used to sing at all the weddings." And I think the people that influenced me. I have a few friends I have many friends who are in the business now, but a few of them have heard me sing, and they say, you've got a pretty good voice there, and just like, I sing in the church choir on Sunday, when I was able to work, not work on Sunday. But family members have always said, you should do this, you should try it. And it's been pretty good. And honestly, I got to tell you, Tony, you and I are, I'm pretty sure the same age. I think we have like a month or so.
I'll be 62 in December.
And I'll be 62 in November. So
okay, there you go.
I'm a few weeks older.
Just a month older. Yes, a month older.
But you look at us and what do we look? Maybe our late 40s. So
yeah. God bless. Absolutely.
I'm not one. I will not just blow smoke up somebody's ass.
But
I used to go watch you all the time, wherever you were at, some of the festivals that you're at, and you were very influential for me to try to do this too. And speaking to you at your events. You're very encouraging. You're very helpful. And you know what? I think a lot of people owe you a debt of gratitude. I know I certainly do, because I'm honored every time you ask me to come up and sing if I'm at a show. And it really means a lot because, you've got such a great audience and a great following. and people come up and say, boy, you've got a really nice voice. You know, have you thought about continuing to do this? And that's kind of what inspired me the last few years, really, to get into it. And I have to tell you, there's one of my very dear friends who's younger than me, and I know you know him, and you nicknamed him, and I know him always as Louis Maschio, but Louis Pipes. I was at one of his shows, and he says, hey, you want to come up and sing? And I did. And I've got to say, I'm so grateful to Louis because he's really, really been an inspiration for me as well.
Louis is a great guy too. And, you know, he was starting off singing, and I kept bringing him up. And, you know, he's got his style to what he does. He's got that character that he does, and it's great. I mean, it's from his heart. It's from him, and that's what he loves to do. And
Right.
that's all you can ask somebody, to go out there and be themselves, and just, you know, and that's what we see with all these people that are singers out there. Some people take it too seriously, and some people have some fun with it. And I think you need to have a little bit more fun with it, like you said, and instead of being so serious about it. And I think that's a big do it. Thank you for your kind words. And since you're talking about Louis Pipes, folks, let's give him a plug of our one of the sponsors of the show. That's right, Airtight Windows, folks. Airtight Windows and Siding at its specialist. If you're looking for new windows and you want it done right, do it right with Airtight. For honesty and quality, dependability, do it right with Airtight. Servicing the Chicagoland area for over 35 years. Do it right with Airtight. Call Louis Pipes at 708-788-5000 and tell him Tony O sent you. You'll get a special deal. That's Airtight Windows with Louis Pipes. Very good. Felix, on your bio that I read, you lived down the street, or your parents lived down the street from a very good friend of mine, Mr. Jim Peterick, from the Ides of March. Some people might remember him from there, but some people might remember him from the band of the 80s, Survivor, with Eye of the Tiger and High on You, and writing all the great songs for 38 Special. Another great entertainer, another great songwriter, singer-songwriter, Jim Peterick. Very cool. Have you met Jim at all?
Actually, it's funny. About a week or so ago, I went over to Capri in Burr Ridge. I went there to had a drink, and I saw him there. And I don't like to go up to people and say, "Hey, how are you? You know, boy, nice to meet you," because he was with his son, and they were having dinner. And I just think it's kind of, let the person have their personal life. It's their time. But sure. I said, I was with a mutual friend of ours, and I just says, I'm just going to go say hello. So I did. I says, Mr. Peterick, I hate to bother you. I know you're having dinner. I says, but I want to let you know, I grew up a half a block away from you. And I told him where I lived. He says, oh my God. He says, you had to pass my house every day. I said, I did. And I remember walking past your house and seeing like a 1973 or 74 Lincoln Mark III. And he says, oh my God. I said, and it was yellow. He says, oh my God. He says, you're absolutely right. He says, so he knew I wasn't BSing him, right? Right. Grammar school. He went to the same grammar school. We talked about the teachers that he had and I had, and he's a little bit older. And it was just nice, to be able to have a nice conversation with him, and met his son, and we took some pictures, and just he asked me what I do, and I told him I was a retired firefighter, and now I run HR and payroll for my location for Costco, and just very gracious, very nice man. And it's nice when you see him out, because he's just always very gracious.
Well, he's a great guy when he goes out. I know he hangs at Capri all the time with Gigi up in that location, up in the Burr Ridge area, because I've done some recording for him, some of his commercials. So another great guy. Felix Greco, Chicago crooner, is in the house. All right, so you love sports too, according to your bio. You're a big Yankee fan and a Dodgers fan. If you only had to pick one, Felix, which one would it be?
There's no doubt in my mind it's the Yankees. A storied history.
Team in the world. I got 46 Jeter jerseys. 46.
I want to tell you, this is apple juice disguised as Grand Marnier.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Well, this is Jack Daniels, and it's real. Yes, there you go. Salute. I drink.
Yeah, the Yankees. So I started liking the Yankees just from watching like old films. I would watch when they would remember channels, ABC used to put on like old sports reels, and you'd watch in like the home run derby and all of that stuff. And I just started really enjoying watching that. And I just started to watch the box scores and just kind of follow what I could with them. And I know, again, I just think the Yankees are probably the greatest sports franchise in history. You could keep the Patriots, you could keep some of these other teams, the Yankees. And in hockey, I have to, for me, as much as I still like the Blackhawks, growing up, used to bother my dad. I was a Montreal Canadian fan.
Okay.
Because I'm still a big believer in the original six. I don't think any other team should ever make the Stanley Cup other than the original six.
Yeah, I'm a diehard Rangers fan, and I agree with you. I love the original six. You're right. Sports is just fantastic. It's changed a lot since we've grown up, Felix. I don't think it's. I don't know if sometimes it's for the better. I think the players now are more in it for the money more than actually playing. I think there's a lot of. I think baseball's too long with all those playoff games. I don't know. The seventh inning, maybe they should sketch it down to 7 instead of 9. I don't know. To me, it's changed a little bit. And then I noticed that you said as much as you like the Bears, it pains you every year. And I'm not a Bears fan at all. They got lucky in 85, and that was it. But what I'm trying to figure out is why. And I keep saying it. Is it the McCaskies? They have to go. In your opinion?
I think so. This is my opinion on all sporting teams, and it's just so bothersome. White Sox Park, it's what, guarantee rate field now? The taxpayers own that. That's not the White Sox don't own that. We own it as the taxpayers. And then, when he threatened to go to St. Petersburg at the time, go. Now he's threatening, maybe I'll go to Nashville. Go, because you're going to bring a crappy team to Nashville, and they're probably hungry for baseball, so they'll just go for a while. But you know what? People don't support crappy teams. They will boo you, and they just don't want you there.
Well, they've been supporting the Cubs forever, and they've been crappy for years.
Right. I think that the World Series that they won was great, but what do? They let that team break up. It was terrible. They have the opportunity to really set the world on fire, and it's sad because I still, as much as I always said I don't like to talk politics, but I think Chicago is still one of the greatest cities in the world as far as amenities that we have there, that lakefront, all the museums, everything we have there. It's a great city. Do I think it's run poorly? Absolutely. And I also think I just don't understand why, when we have one of the greatest cities in the world, that we can't have professional sports teams that are contending every year, whether it's for the Super Bowl or the World Series or the NBA or hockey. Why? It only goes back to the owners. That's the only thing you can go back to.
I agree with you, Felix, and I think that's what makes the teams. And look, until the Cubs bought in the guy from Boston, and they won the World Series, everything they did. Kevin Burke, what's up, my brother? Jerry Jams, McCaskey has too many McCaskies on the Bears payroll with no football experience. There you go. Perfect. And I
think the players today, Tony, are just so spoiled. It's just sad to think a guy like Ditka probably got run out because they eventually didn't like the way he treated them. Well, I'm going to tell you what, when I played football, whatever the coach said, you had to do. And they were, I went to, the Christian Brothers School, great school, great teachers, great educators, great coaches. We weren't the best in football. We were in basketball. Gene Pingatore, probably the greatest high school basketball coach ever in the history of the state of Illinois. But he demanded certain things of his players, and he demanded that you had to get the grades and you had to do certain things. Nowadays, you're paying a 240 hitter to sit on the bench or to start, and he's making $10 million a year. Why?
Well, it's almost like, and it's a great thing, especially like they're doing great at another team, and they're making they're doing great. And all of a sudden they sign them to this giant contract, and all of a sudden they get a little lazy. Or like the Cubs will get them after they were hot, and then hopefully they can keep that that streak going. So you're right. I think the teams have to go. I mean, Ditka was a great coach for the Chicago Bears. Coach Q was great for the Hawks. They should have. He got let go because of that guy, whatever, the homosexual up in the office banging some guy, whatever the hell it was. And he was the scapegoat, unfortunately. But the Q built that team. And so who knows? It's just crazy. That's the way sports are. We got Felix Greco, Chicago crooner. You worked for the Tribune, did you?
I did. So when I graduated high school, I started working with I went to Loyola on Rush Street, and I think I spent more time on Rush Street than I did actually in the classroom.
There you go, sure.
Which wasn't too hard to do. But I started working for the Chicago Tribune. A guy I went to high school with, his father was one of the bosses there, and I was looking for something. All I did was walk right up Michigan Avenue, and I went to work. And and I've been working since, I'll tell you this, I've been working probably since I'm 8 or 9 years old. My parents worked at, I'm going to throw out a couple of nightclub names at you, and I'm sure you'll remember. Gennadi's. My dad was a bartender for Gennadi's when they were on Roosevelt Road and when they were up in on Lawrence.
And Norwich. That's one of my first starts. I started playing on Tuesday nights. It was crazy times. Sure.
The Flame restaurant, the Flame. They were in Countryside and then on Route 83 and Roosevelt Road. Yeah. And there was one many, many years ago. A lot of people don't remember it, but I know I did because that's where I was a busboy with my brother, and my sister worked in the coat room on Saturday nights. We went there with our parents. It was called the Singing Serenis. It was First Avenue and 26th Street on the northwest corner across from the Riverside Golf Country Club. And the owners sang opera, and they did a lot of Broadway tunes. And I'm still influenced very much by how they sang and Broadway because I'm most of the songs that you and I sing that are Rat Pack songs were on Broadway. Sure. And a lot of people don't realize that. And I always tell people this song came from Broadway. It's from Kiss Me Kate, or it's from, whatever it might be. And when they realize, they're like, oh, I said, so if you get a chance, watch that movie or see that play if you could see it, if it comes around and listen to these songs. But that was just a great nightclub. And, and those are the things I kind of miss about our youth, that we don't have supper clubs like that anymore. And it's a shame. I think there's people trying to do that. But it takes time, it takes money, and you have to have just, like anything else. Gigi says you got to take care of your customer.
I agree with that too. But you have to have the customers. I don't care how much money you pay for. I don't care how much money you have. And you have a great building, and you have a great chef, and you have if the people don't come in, the supper clubs are just not popular much anymore. They are in Wisconsin still. There's tons of them out there, supper clubs. It's just not like that anymore. And I think it's because, and that's why I was talking to Frankie Zeta, and I talked to Louie about this, and I'll talk to you about this. When you go out there, and when I first started, I've been doing this now full time, it'll be 32 years this year, 4 to 5 nights a week. I've been very blessed with that. But the thing is, when I first started, it was all Rat Pack, all that kind of stuff, and it was good. It was cool. But after 3 hours of it, nobody wants to hear it anymore. Now they want to pick up, they want the dance stuff, and I completely had to change. Basically, now my shows, I might do 4 or 5 Rat Pack songs. That's it. Especially in the first hour while people are eating, they want to hear that. But I think what's happening, Felix, is I don't know if the younger generation are grasping this great music that we were talking about. What's your opinion on that?
I agree with you 100%. But I do think people like Frankie and Louie and myself, and there's other people that do that.
Sure.
If it's there, if you build it, they will come. So if you continue to sing it and people hear this stuff, they're going to come out of it. They'll tell people. And again, I was influenced, a lot by what I listened to growing up. But again, listening to you and the Epic, I think I may have mentioned this to you at a show one time. I remember, I think it was Piper's Alley. The
Sure,
original,
we had to play there, right? Yeah, sure.
the original. I mean, I went to that, and that's got to be about 20 years ago or so, or longer.
Well, but you know what, Felix, it was, and Ron Onesti was the producer of that, and yeah, and at that time, Tony Bennett was coming up on MTV, so he was getting some of the younger people, and Harry Connick Jr. was big at that time. It was bringing that and who's the guy? Michael Bublé is still trying to keep it, but he doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't have that. He didn't have that. To me, Bublé might have he's got a great voice. He just doesn't have that personality that Frank and Dean and those guys used to have. You know what I mean? And let's bear it now. If you had a choice between Frank and Dean, who was your favorite, Felix?
Johnny Mathis. No.
Hey man, he's got an incredible voice.
If you remember, I don't know if you remember the movie Diner. They're having this debate in the diner, and they're saying Mathis, Sinatra or Elvis. Yeah. And the guy goes, Johnny Mathis.
Johnny Mathis. There you go. Diner. Yeah. Mickey Rourke was in that movie too. Yeah. One of my favorite actors. Yeah. There's Tracy. How you doing, Trace? Nina, how are you doing? Louis Pipes, Jerry Jams.
Hi, Tracy. Hi, Louis.
Pamela's in the house. Yeah, Alderman Dick, say it again with Dick. Felix Greco talking about music, talking about Rat Pack. It's amazing though, even the attitude and the clothes and everything they had. Every woman wanted to sleep with them. Every guy wanted to hang with them. It was amazing that camaraderie that we try to do here. I've always tried to do that, bringing up different singers when they're coming up, doing what they're doing. And you have to. I'm 62. Okay, I don't know how much my audience is. A lot of them are dropping. So I'm just trying to say is you've got to you start bringing some of the younger guys in. Hopefully they will keep the music alive. And I think it's very, very important. Where do you see yourself 3 or 4 years from now, Felix?
Well, you know what, I like, you'd build me in as a crooner, and that's truly what I am. I like to think of myself as an entertainer as well. I'm not Louis, because Louis has his shtick that he does, and he's a great entertainer. And I'll tell you what, I love going to listen to him. Frankie has a nice, smooth voice. There's a lot of people out there that I go see. I really am, and even Louis said, he goes, "You're a crooner." I mean, I get up there and I sing. I don't move around. I just I sing. And I just love it. It's in my heart. And there's something that to be said for that. I want to play. I like to play dinner music. I'm one of those. I'll go 6 to 9, and I'm happy with that. After 9 o'clock, you want to bring in a DJ and do all that. I think that's exactly what they should do. And I started incorporating in more. In fact, I was working on rehearsing some stuff today. Some actually Johnny Mathis stuff in a lower key for me, because I can't hit those high notes anymore. It's tough for me. I had surgery a number of years ago. And it's tough for me to do, but I still enjoy doing that. So I want to just do some of these smaller clubs like Donnie G's and these places that like to have their music for the older crowd that comes in early. And of course, we all still remember disco, so we all still want to dance for that.
Well, and Felix, you said a great point. What you said, what helps me in my shows too, is that if I do the stuff that I'm doing, I have the DJ sound man, either of course Jerry Jams, Double T, Tony Toto, Daryl Armenstad. They play the stuff that I don't sing. So it keeps people, it tries to fulfill the whole night of what's going on to try to make everybody happy. And that's what we're trying to do right now,
I want to ask you a question. I read something somewhere, and I wrote it down because I wanted to ask you about it. So when you're singing a song, and let's just say years ago, because, I know Sinatra said this, you have to be able to understand the lyric. And he was such a master at interpreting a lyric, whether it was a Cole Porter song or Irving Berlin, whoever, Jimmy Webb, another great singer-songwriter.
Great singer-songwriter.
A lot of songs that people don't even realize what he did. And not only just like love songs and ballads, but disco songs and everything. I mean, he's just still around. Just like so Sinatra said, you have to understand the lyric, and if you haven't lived that lyric, if you haven't lived that song, you have no business singing it. because you have to be able to make that person believe that you understand their pain, you understand their sorrow, especially those what they used to call the saloon songs and the torch songs.
Well, yeah,
You know,
and I believe I agree with you on that. But I don't know how many people out there have been through all that shit. That
not
some
the
of
youngsters, that's for sure. We have.
that's for sure.
You know,
Yeah,
I've been married twice, and my second wife is still very supportive. We're very, very good friends still. You know, I've always loved my first wife because she's the mother of my children. But you have to really, you have to live. If you've lived it, you know it, and it's believable.
Absolutely.
That's the thing. You have to be believable.
I agree with you 100%. And then that's what, and people see it. People see right through you. And you know what? You're not going to please everybody all the time. But you know what? You just got to be yourself, and that's all that matters. Oh, my good friend Lisa P is in the house watching. Lisa, hi, honey. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow at Positanos. Felix Greco, you can book Felix if I've got right here. Felix, that's Greco 13 at Comcast.net. Is that correct, Felix?
Yes, sir.
And you can call him at 708-655-2914 if you want to book Felix at your club, restaurant, etc., etc. I want to put a show together this fall, and I'd like to get Frankie, you, Pipes, a couple of John Garini, a couple guys that I know, and do Tony Ocean and Friends show. I'm in negotiations with that with Ron Onesti happening at the Arcada Theater this fall. Mm-hmm. So that'll be very cool. There's Stephanie, another great singer in the Chicagoland area. This end up and Stephanie, how you doing, my friend?
I got to tell you, I went to see John Garini and my cousin through marriage, Gianna Casali, a couple weeks ago, and they were so gracious to have me come up and sing a song with them.
Yeah, Johnny's a great guy.
Oh, God. And that's one of the nice things that when you're recognized by somebody, hey, we've got a singer up, we would like to bring them up. It's so nice to hear. And I'm just so humbled and honored to do that. And there's times I've said, no, it's your show. You sing. Yeah. And you're like, no, come on. And I appreciate that. Same thing with Stephanie. I mean, Stephanie, I fell in love with her voice. I've heard her a few times, and she's just a terrific, terrific singer. Lisa P., another person who I love like my own sister. She's just really a wonderful singer and performer. And when she starts going, I always tell her when she sings, please sing Flowers. I love when she does that song.
I love the song Flowers too. And there's certain meanings to those songs that are just fantastic. And she's great at that. And Stephanie, another great voice, and Lisa P., everybody. We're lucky. We got some great talent out of Chicago in the suburbs playing out there. And most of them will call you up or should call you up if you're out in the audience. Some of them still have that little ego thing. But people ask me all the time, why do you bring somebody up? 2 reasons. 3 reasons. Number one, it's important to do that. It's important to do that because you want to keep the tradition of supporting another musician. Very important. Oh, there you go. Kim Lefevre, Kim Lefevre, another great singer. You got to do that. Number 2, also, you want to let people, it gives the audience something a little different. They've been here to see you for 3 hours. Okay, great. Wow, look at this guy or this girl. She's bringing in something different. Gives it a little bit of another touch. So I think there's great reasons why most singers, most performers that are confident with themselves, they have no problem bringing someone else on. And that's the thing. Some people, I'm not going to, there's guys out there that won't throw you a bone. Mm-hmm. They won't tell you there's another gig, or they won't recommend you to go work this place because they think that, and I've say, guys, if anybody out there that wants to work somewhere and I can put a name in for you and help you out, I will get you in those places. I would try my best. I think it's important to keep doing that. And Felix, I support what you do, brother, and Louie and Frankie and these guys. It's good. It's a good crew. It's a good crew to be part of. And I'm happy to be part of it. I think it's great. I'm just hoping
you can consider yourself the Don. You're the godfather of this guy.
God bless you, my friend. But what I'm trying to say is I'm hoping that it stays. I'm hoping that people still – go ahead.
Oh, yeah. And I got to tell you, Kim is – I went to see Kim play at Shanahan's a couple months ago. And she didn't – and then Bill Saratella had showed up. And we were both – he had left a little bit earlier than I did. But I was sitting there, and she kind of looked. She kept looking. She put her glasses on, and she goes, "Felix?" And I says, "Yeah." She goes, "Come on up, sing a song." I'm like, "Oh, no, I appreciate it, thank you." But I didn't know what their song list was and what their set was, and I didn't want to interrupt it. But again, just a terrific human being. And I had some stuff happen to me over the last few years that humbled me, brought me back to the church, brought me back to my roots as a Catholic. And I attended when I took the year off after I retired. I attended Mass every day, and I prayed, and I asked God to show me the way. And that's another big influence. People say, "Oh, well, no, it's not." I do think we need to start bringing God back into society and back into people's lives. Okay, it's huge because He's there.
It won't happen, Felix. It will. I agree with you 100% about bringing God into our lives. It's important. It won't happen with this regime. It won't happen with the next regime if Kamala Harris, and I know we're not supposed to talk politics, but they don't want anything to do with God. They want to put God off the dollar bill. They want to take it off currency. They don't want to say the Pledge of Allegiance anymore. It's this regime that's destroying this country. My opinion don't mean a lot, but I'm telling you, and you can only, like you can say, you can only see for yourself what's going on in this world. As crazy as it is. Another right, Bonnie Bridges, another singer. Of course, my good friend Regina Karma. She's the best. And there's another great singer-songwriter from Nashville, Jimmy Parker. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. He's got over 25 different CDs. He's won a great many awards. I listen to Jimmy all the time, and I'll see you, Jimmy, in Nashville at the Josie Awards at the Grand Ole Opry. We'll be there. Jimmy Parker watching. But it's important.
One other thing real quick. So I've incorporated some country into my stuff, but my country is a country music, not, country music. Again, I like old country. I don't understand today's new country music. I don't know the stars. I mean, I've listened to it. I hear it. I enjoy it because I enjoy all kinds of music except crazy headbanger, nutty, hard rock and roll. That's not even rock and roll. It's like just crazy hard-nosed music.
Metal music,
like the stuff like Freddie Fender and stuff that Glenn Campbell used to do, but the way that Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra interpreted it, and also bossa nova music. Sinatra did Watch What Happens, Wave, stuff like that. People don't know that. When they hear that, like, oh wow, and it's a dance music type thing. Tony Bennett did it, so I like music like that. One thing I've told friends, and I told my youngest son, I says, listen, when I die. Because the new trend is you can play music at your wakes now, right? They let you play music. There's one song that has to be played, and they're like, "Oh, I know My Way." I'm like, "No, besides My Way."
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
"Gangster's Paradise" by Coolio.
Oh, you know what? I love Coolio. I love that Coolio. He's got some good stuff. I agree. He's you know what? Why not? My Way is a little overrated now. Not overrated, but I think it's already overplayed too much now. It's like it's just crazy of that. But you know what, Felix, you're absolutely right. We are coming down to the end of the hour, but let's keep you on before we finish. Felix Greco's with us, folks. Let's get down a couple more sponsors here on Ocean Spit, Monday through Friday. Don't forget Deutsch Power Center, servicing the construction and diesel industry in Chicago for the last 100 years. That's Deutsch Power Center. Call my buddy Sal at 224-276-6550. Looking for a lawyer, Roy McCampbell out of Rosemont, attorney at law, statewide law practice that is client-focused and results-driven. Roy will get you out of any jam. 708-275-4264. My wife's company, Laura Ocean Solutions. Never have to shop again if you go with Laura Ocean Solutions. Increase profits while reducing credit card fees. There you go, my good friend Laura. Of course, my lovely wife Laura. And let's not forget our good buddies from Trico Hair Experts out of Rosemont, Illinois, Anthony and Carmela, recreating great hair days. 773-999-788. Felix Greco is in the house. Felix, where are you going to be coming up? What's your next show?
Let's see here. So August 2nd, Salerno's in McHenry. That'll be the next one that
Salerno's in McHenry. When you're over there, go make sure you stop and see my buddy Ryan at Bugsy's. Hold it. See See my buddy. Sorry, the dog. See my buddy Ryan at Bugsy. Say he'd probably hire you too. Anyway, so yeah. All right. Felix Greco's
Can I give a
there.
quick
Make sure
shout
you go
out?
Shoot, go
Can I
ahead.
give a quick shout out? Sure. So I just want to say hello to Mary Matarazzo, who's watching today.
Okay. Hi, Mary. How
she's
you
just
doing?
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. All right, guys. Birthdays. It's important. Birthdays for the July 24th, as we've got the next couple minutes here. John Fettamiglia, remember him? He was he owned the restaurant on The Sopranos. I used to love that show. 61 years old. Dean Winters, you might remember Dean, you might not. Mr. Mayhem on the car commercials, celebrating a birthday today. Bobby Sherman, a 70s icon, a singer from the Teeny Bopper days, 81 years old. Alex Trebek from Jeopardy, celebrating a birthday. Selena Gomez, 32 years old. Shawn Michaels, for all you wrestling fans there, 59 years old. David Spade, actor, 60 years old. William Dafoe, actor, 69 years old. Danny Glover, 79 years old. Dave Essex, rock-on British singer, 77. Woody Harrelson turned 63. Nick Sahajas and Phyllis, wherever you guys are, I know you're on vacation. Nick, happy birthday to your father. I want to say happy birthday to Donnie Bono, a great entertainer up in Las Vegas, Nevada. Graham Nash, formerly of the Hollies, and of course Crosby, Stills and Nash, 82 years old. My good friend Nick Nitti, happy 80th birthday, Nick. Happy 65th birthday to my good buddy Donnie Morrison, wherever you are. Jack from the Thirsty Parrot, 92 years old, Jack, and one of my favorite idols, the great Ray Rayner from WGN. Used to love Ray Rayner, celebrating a birthday today as well. 37 years ago today, American Bandstand debuted with the great Dick Clark. Wow. And all those great, a lot of singers that we talked about, Felix, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, would play on those shows to backing tracks back then. Remember, there was no band. They were singing the backing tracks, right? Salute to Apple Juice, Felix. There you go.
Yes.
There you go. From Jerry saying salute to Apple Juice.
And Tony, you'd asked earlier, one of my goals for sure, I really want to, what I'd like to do is have a trio, like the way Tony Bennett would do things when he would do his Unplugged on MTV, piano, bass, drums. And I had
a trio for many, many years. It's a great idea. The problem is these days is no one will pay for those musicians. That's the hardest part. That's why a lot of people are, it's hard to get people to actually, clubs to come up and give you that money, provided you have a draw and can sell some tickets. Hopefully you should try at least a couple shows yourself with a little trio. It's fantastic. It's good to have that. The only thing I missed about the trio, I went to see Tony Bennett at the Ravinia, and giant stage, and he had three guys up there and him, and he was doing the songs, but the songs weren't like the record. So they were kind of very sleepy. I mean, he kind of put you to sleep. Right. Rags to Riches without the horns and all that stuff just doesn't do it for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it is intimate. If you can get into a place and do like a little dinner show, intimate, do a special thing, I think it would be a lot of people would love to hear you with something like that. So I think it'd be very cool to do that. It would be a lot of fun. You're watching Felix Greco here, folks. We got a minute left here. Integrity is measured by your willingness to do the right thing, even when it costs you. I love that quote. Love these quotes that you guys keep sending me in. I really do appreciate it. Some of the stuff we will keep for tomorrow's show, of course. But boy, I'm telling you, it is crazy what's going on, Felix. What do you see? I mean, I don't know. I feel bad. Like we were talking about our kids and our grandkids. If things stay the way we're in trouble.
Well, I was very political for many, many years. And after I retired, I just stopped. And I used to run campaigns all over. I worked for both sides. But I had to believe in the candidate. I had to believe in what they believed in. And it had to be it had to be 50% plus one for me, 51%. I had to believe in what they believed in. And I would push for them. Nowadays, I'm so disgusted, disillusioned with both parties. And it's just really a shame because we don't have a government that wants to govern. We have two parties who want to call each other names. We have two parties that want I'm right, you're wrong, and nobody wants to work in the middle. And I'm more of a middle of the road. You know, I'd be a dinosaur.
Let me ask you, okay, but let me ask you, before this flu came out in 2020, how do you think the world was going?
I think everything was fine up until then. And actually, that's exactly what it is. It was the flu. I mean, and it was probably on par along with the Spanish flu in 1919 and everything else. And I get that, but it's the flu. And, you know, I think because our country and our society has become so lazy, and I had posted something the other day that I saw, and you know, all the chemicals that are put into our foods, all the sugar and everything else, that's what's destroying our society. That's what's destroying the youth. And, you know, these kids are always on their cell phones now, or they're playing video games. Nobody's outside playing. I went yesterday. I was out and I saw kids out walking and skateboarding and, you know, just riding their bikes, whether with families or by themselves. You know, I'll tell you one thing. When I was a kid, you know, from Berwyn, there were 4 or 5 of us. We'd get on I'm talking 8, 9, 10 years old. We'd get on the bus, Ridgeland Avenue, which is Narragansett, up to Addison. We would transfer from Addison to go to Wrigley Field. At that age, you know, and what were tickets? 50 cents, $1 maybe? But you know what? I had a paper route. You know, if I had to ask my dad for an allowance, the allowance was, okay, you're cutting the grass, you're shoveling the snow, you're doing this. We had to sweep the gutter.
That's gone.
It's gone. Because nowadays, I'll give you a real quick example. When I was on the department, we had to cut the grass like once a week because couple of our stations we had grass. So I had a chief tell the kid to cut the grass. So I told the kid to cut the grass. He brings a lawnmower out there. He's staring at it. The chief says to me, come to my office. He goes, what's the matter? Look at this. He goes, look at this fucking kid. I go, okay, what's he doing? He goes, nothing. That's the point. So we went out there, go, what's the problem? He says, well, I don't know how to start it. I says, what? He even said, what do you mean you don't know how to start? He goes, my family has a lawn service. We don't cut the grass.
Yeah.
My father refused to buy a gas lawnmower. I had the old-fashioned kind with that bag, and sometimes the bag wouldn't hold on, and my brother and I, we had to rake the grass then.
Yeah, we had to wait it down because of
the corner lot.
Oh, my God. Hey, Felix, we'll have to bring you back on and do another show, man, and talk about some other stuff about neighborhoods. It would be kind of cool. Don't forget, folks, check it out. Felix, tell them how they can get a hold of you again, buddy.
You can find me on Facebook, Felix Greco, or Felix Sings the Great American Songbook. If you're 708-655-2914, and also fgreco13 at comcast.net. Tony, thank you so much. I really appreciate
hold on real fast. Felix, thank you for being on, brother. Hey, last but not least, it's Ace Hardware again. Buy local, shop local. Our good friends. Please tell them $20 and just walk into any of these great Ace Hardware stores and say, grill your ace off. And they'll give you $20 off any grill purchase. Download the Ace Rewards app. Easy way to keep track of your points, coupons, and special offers. Ace is the place helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Guys, we have to go tomorrow. Positano's in Oak Brook. Lisa P., Jerry Jams, hopefully Pipes, hopefully Felix, hopefully Frankie. Maybe we'll do a reunion bash. It'll be fun. Friday, Chicago Prime with the Professor Daryl Amistad, and Saturday, Dirty Nellies. Guys, remember, buy local, shop local, support local establishments, support live entertainment, and thank you, Felix, for what you do, man. Keep the songbook alive, my brother. Keep that live entertainment going and keep this music. We need it. We need it, guys. The great words of Ringo Starr. Peace and love. No matter we're all not going to we're not all going to agree, folks. But remember one thing.
I will be the greatest president.
Anyway, besides that, folks, check that. You guys have an incredible day. Please, we're not always going to get along and not agree on certain things, but respect each other's opinions. And let's just try to, let's go back to the days of the Cadillac versus Lincoln. Cadillac has more power. Anyway, whatever it is, that's whatever it is. Let's have some fun, guys. Nick Sahajas, the piano man, take us out. Felix, God bless you, man. Have a great day. See you tomorrow with Laura.
Oh, it's the end of the show. See you later from Tony.
Bye-bye, everybody. God bless you. Felix, thank you, pal.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great day.